Hey, what's up, guys? You are in the game with DOC. Loaded up on deck today is Coach James Wolff from your page Patriots, and I'm excited to have him on. This change for you guys this year from last year.
I would have to say it was the leadership amongst the guys. The guys know what they knew what they wanted. They knew what it took to get there, and they knew that we came up a couple plays short the year before. So really, the difference for us was just leadership. Leadership from the seniors and the upperclassmen. Just kind of taking the things you learn in college from the classroom to the football field, helps kids better understand their son. But, I mean, there's no shortcut about it. You got two guys like this.
Yes, that's Coach Wolff right there, guys.
Yeah.
Coach Wolff, thank you for joining me today. You are in the game with DOC. I'm excited to have you on. How are you doing today, Coach?
Man, first of all, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Doc. I'm doing pretty good today. Tuesday, we were off yesterday, so it kind of feels like a Monday, but glad to be back at work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know having something to do and getting back on the grind is always good, ain't it, Coach?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We had some beautiful weather yesterday, though, so I enjoyed it.
Oh, man, it was awesome. Got some yard work done, didn't we, Coach?
Yes, sir.
After several years of coming close, Page finally secured the 5A state championship with an undefeated 14-0 record in 2025. What was the specific turning point or identity shift in the offensive line room that made that different from previous championship runs this year, Coach?
The difference, I think the difference for this group was they knew what it felt like to get to the state championship game and lose. These guys have been through it 3 years in a row. So they knew what it took to get there, and they wanted to get back there. They wanted to get back to the state championship game. But the biggest difference for us was the leadership. We had a great group of senior leaders, Sloan Bass, Jordan Curl, Jake Rathbone. And those guys kind of just guided the younger guys and showed them what it took to get there and finish the job.
Now, many experts say that the offensive line is the least natural position on the field and relies most on heavily repetitive technique. What is the one drill you consider non-negotiable for your players every single practice?
That's good, Doc. That's a great question. It is a trained position, right? We got to train that body to play with low pad level, striking on the second step. I have a bunch of different drills. I feel like that are everyday drills or weekly drills, but I think probably the single most important drill is some sort of footwork drill. I love the shoots, Doc. You know that. Love the shoots. But I would say the single most important drill for us is the board drills. To the board drills. That's an everyday drill for us.
And that's a great drill. It's no doubt going to work your offensive line and your defensive line when they come over there. We love that drill too, Coach. Former Page players like Eric Hazard have praised your ability to break down film and to identify opponent tendencies. How do you teach teenage players to watch film like a coach and not like a fan?
I appreciate Eric saying that. I say the single most important thing for a young athlete to look at when they're watching film is to not just watch yourself, right? Or watch yourself in a different light. I think a lot of young kids watch themselves and, did I make the play or did I make the block? But actually watch your technique, watch your first step, watch your second step. All these things that your coach is telling you, look for those things on film. And if you see that, those things aren't where you want it to be, fix the little things. It could be your first step, could be your second step, could be your hands. A lot of guys, what they like to do, Doc, they like to chicken wing. They want to chicken wing everything. So teaching guys to look at film from a technical standpoint and not just watch yourself play football and cut up this play because it looks good to go on my huddle.
and, and that is one of the biggest coaching tools that I always preach, that the video is one of the greatest coaching tools that you guys have, and I love it too, coach. What are your top 3 drills for improving hand placement and strike timing?
Great, another great question, Doc. I really like the punch ladder. We do punch ladder. We try to get that in maybe once a week. And what's that doing? That's as you seen in the video when we came on the air. That's one of the drills we were doing. It helps you time your punch to make sure you're right where you need to be to punch, because you don't want to punch when you don't have your feet in front of the guy, right? So that punch ladder is an everyday drill that we do. I love the shoots, Doc. I love the shoots because we need to learn how to play with our hand, and our hand placement needs to be right when our pad level is where it's supposed to be. So that to me is a great one with hand placement. And I also like 6 point. I'm old school, so I like to get them down in front of a 5-man sled and let's work 6 point. I think that's a great drill for hand placement and punching power. And we do a lot of things. We do med ball punches. We do plate punches. We do a little drill that's called a get beat drill, right? So where we line the defensive lineman up, off sides. He's already beat us, and we've got to learn how to let our footwork get in front of the guy before we get our hands on him, right? Instead of lunging or opening the gate and giving a clear path to the quarterback. So those are just a couple of drills that I really believe in.
And all those are great. That's why you've got a great offensive line coach. How do you teach pass protection sets against both speed rushers and power rushers?
Um, another good question, Doc. You've got a lot of great questions. So I say the difference between just kind of knowing your opponent, right? A lot of guys are speed rushers nowadays. A lot of defensive coordinators and D-line coaches want to put their fastest guy on the edge. So if we got that on the edge, we got to be very patient. We got to learn the difference between a jump set, right, and a vertical set. So if we're playing a guy who's beating us off the edge a lot, yeah, I of course I got a vertical set him, but I also want to eliminate some space between him, right? Get my hands on him and stop him from beating me with speed. Power guys are different, Power guys is all about hand placement, getting the hands on them quick, playing with good technique, good demeanor. So you're right. I mean, that's a great question. You got to know what your opponent's going to give you, and playing in 5A and 6A football, it's a challenge to get prepared for these guys every week.
Yes, sir. I fully agree, because at that level, you've got to be ready, because each opponent is going to be, they're going to be in that locker, in that weight room, and they're going to be ready for you. What is your approach to teaching zone blocking versus gap blocking techniques? I think I might have lost your audio right there, Coach. Let me let me see, guys. We got Coach in the class, and he is in school. So hold on with us just one second. I think I lost your audio. I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
There we go. Okay. I'm sorry, Coach. We, we're making it happen, guys. We're making it happen. What is your approach to teaching zone blocking versus gap blocking techniques?
Um, we run a lot of zone scheme. We run a lot of it. So my approach for zone scheme, we'll start off with that question, with that part of it first. Um, Allowing the guys to understand that they don't necessarily have a man, right? There's a man in that zone, but we got to understand what gap we're responsible for front side, and also where we need to help backside. So I like to teach my guys. We have different calls that we make. Right, if I'm blocking a front side A and I got somebody backside B that I got to give a hand to as a tackle if I'm a guard. Um, so I think the biggest thing is just trying to, in the zone scheme, getting your guys to understand that we have a zone, we don't have a man, and it doesn't have to be if I got a linebacker in my front side gap, I still got backside responsibilities, and I can't just run after that linebacker, right? Um, so getting guys to understand just the intricate details in the zone scheme, and if you got a double team, what do guys always want to do? They want to leave the double team first, right? I always coach my guys. We take the down lineman. First of all, down lineman is our first responsibility. We take that down lineman and put him in the linebacker's lap, right? And when we're going after a linebacker, we don't run at where the linebacker is. We know where he's going to be. We got to take a great angle to get there, all right, and get our hat play side to that play side number and get control of them. Gap scheme is a little bit of the same concept on the backside of zone, right? We got two guys pulling. Say we're running counter to the right. Well, we got two guys coming, that are pulling. Well, those other guys got to block down. Same thing. You got a gap. You don't have a man. So, I mean, to me, it's a lot of the same things, zone and gap. It's just whatever you prefer. I prefer to run zone. That's what we run. That's our bread and butter, and that's what I teach a lot.
Hey, he gets the job done, coach. How do you develop a player's football IQ to recognize defensive fronts and stunts?
I think, Doc, I think it takes time, right? It takes time. You'll have younger guys, sophomores, juniors. They might not even know what an odd front or an even front is, right? But the more time you spend with them in the film room, the more time you spend with them on the board, they'll start to recognize it, right? Like for instance, when we played y'all last year, we were working on Giles County. When we played them, we were working on, the front all summer preparing for it. Well, we didn't play another front like y'all till week 4 or 5. And, one of the kids said, oh, this is the same front that Giles County runs. So I think over time, it's just a combination of learning on the field, in the classroom, and then with film study, they start to recognize different fronts.
Yes, sir. It seems in the offensive line, one thing I've noticed, the offensive line is usually some of the smartest kids on the team. They they they've got so many different assignments to pick up, and they have to know that whole playbook for each play. And every one of them that I've known has always been really smart. And if we lack size but got great speed, how would you adapt your blocking scheme?
So the question, can you say that again? I was having trouble hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, coach. If if we lack size but we've got good speed, how would you adapt to blocking us?
Um, I tell you what, if you're playing an undersized D lineman, sometimes that's the toughest lineman to block, right? The D lineman, because they're gonna be quick to the gap, right? So you just want to make sure your first two steps are great, and it can go the other way too. I think if you got an undersized offensive lineman, right, you got to be quick off the ball. You got to be aggressive. You got to play with great technique. Those are things. If you're undersized, leverage wins, pad level wins, technique always wins. So if you're undersized on O line or D line, you just have to do a better job of winning what you can. Right, you're going to get pushed around a little bit. But I always tell smaller offensive linemen I've had some in the past. Make them run over top of you. Beat them with great technique. And this guy might be 300 pounds. You might be 240 soaking wet. But make him run over the top of you. Get to where you're supposed to go. Get your head across. Get your hands on him. And make him pretty much, bull rush you to come get the quarterback. So, undersized, you can beat him with technique, Doc.
Can definitely can beat them with technique, and the technique is huge, and it's what you that's the repetition. What is your strategy for developing JV or unexperienced linemen? Or unexperienced linemen.
Uh, I would say my strategy for developing younger linemen is you've got to make it simple, stupid for them, right? You have to make it. You have to slow things down for them and take it one step at a time, right? You get a lot of high school guys that come from eighth grade. They don't necessarily play with their hands or their feet. They might be dominant on that level because they're just bigger and stronger than everybody. But then they get to this level and they're getting beat by guys who might not be as God have as much God given ability. So you just really got to slow the game down for them, make it make sense, work on flexibility and strength. I think those are two big keys for younger linemen is just technique, strength, and flexibility. So just finding a way to slow the game down for them where they can understand why we do the things we do.
How do you handle accountability for missed assignments or penalties?
Uh, Doc, I've been blessed this last year, right? Uh, Kids would hold themselves accountable for that missed assignments. And but me as a coach, um, we try not to have pre-snap penalties. There's no reason why we should be jumping off sides or getting false starts, things like that. So what we do in practice is if we mess up, the guys either only push-ups or up downs. So we try to nip that in the bud in practice. So when we get in a game situation that it shouldn't be a factor. It definitely not pre-snap penalties. Of course, you're going to get calls all the time. You're going to get holding calls or different calls like that. That's inevitable. But we want to eliminate the thing. We want to control the things that we can, and that's those pre-snap penalties, lining up right, not jumping off sides, not getting false start penalties, things of that nature.
That discipline is one of the biggest things the younger players have trouble coming in with because they first think it's criticism, but if a coach cares enough to take the time and to be on you, that means he's depending on you, and those small things are huge. I fully agree with, and the up downs, I used to remember doing those all the time, coach. How do you keep the offensive line motivated during difficult games or deep into the season?
Um, I think the big thing that we always talk about is consistency, right? You want to be consistent with what you're doing day in and day out. The expectation needs to be clear. The kids need to know what you expect from them. It don't matter if we're in the first game or the 15th game. The expectation is still the same. Um, the key for us has been just keeping things the same, right? We don't go into a semifinal game or a quarterfinal game and we don't treat it like it's a Super Bowl, right? It's another game to us. And I always tell the kids, this is what we do. This is what we do. We line up and kick some tail. I mean, we're going to line up and we're going to hit you in the mouth for 4 quarters, and that's what we do. It's non-negotiable. And if you're not going to do that, then you're not going to play. We had a lot of buy-in from kids late in the year, and I've got to shout a couple guys out on here, Dabs Matthews and Maddox Morgan, who necessarily weren't getting the playing time that like some of the other seniors, but they bought in and they got on scout team and they pushed our guys. They pushed our first team all year, and to me, that was the difference. Was everybody bought in. It wasn't just the first group or the second group. Everybody bought into one common goal. And like I said, the kids motivated and kept themselves accountable, and that was big for us.
Yeah, those fellas on the team, because I ran scout team my first season, they're the biggest benefit on the team because the better they are, the better you guys are going to be against your opponents. And I always tip my hat to those guys because they're the biggest team players on the team.
Yep. Without
How do you
them, without them.
So I'm
No,
sorry,
go ahead.
Coach.
I was just saying, without them, it's hard to be successful if you don't got great players that push them at practice.
That, that's right. You're always as good as whoever you're playing against, ain't it, Coach? Good
Amen,
against
brother.
good. How do you handle playing time and competition among linemen for starting spots?
We like to start the season off. We start the season off pretty much with open competition. We give guys every opportunity to break in the starting lineup. I throw a lot of different things at kids, and I might play a kid at left tackle. I might play him at right tackle. I might play him at left guard. I might play him at right guard. I move a lot of kids around in the preseason because I want them, one, to see what they can do, where they can help us the most, but two, also throw them in the fire a little bit because in game situation, we always know, you're one injury away from playing the other side of the ball or playing from left tackle to right tackle or vice versa. So I like to open it up, move kids around, see what they're good at, see what they're not good at, and then kind of make my decision from there after the first three scrimmages.
That, that, how do you ensure the O line is ready to adapt to in-game defensive adjustments?
Well, I tell you what, at Giles County, it showed us a lot over the years. Every year we open up with y'all. I think they might be ready, and then I soon find out. We see a stunt we hadn't seen in a while, or we hadn't seen all year, or we see we one year we prepared for y'all against one front, and y'all came out running a different front. So then we had to adjust to that on the sideline or at halftime. So I don't think you ever know until until bullets start flying in a game, and then you see how ready you are to adjust to different things in game.
And coach, that brings me. I've got to ask this because my big brother coaches the D line. He wanted me to ask you how tough did you think the D line was this season for the Giles County Bobcats?
I think y'all were I think definitely one of the toughest we played. I mean, biggest, yeah. Every time we play y'all, big country boys, and I mean, on the other side of the ball, y'all, what was it, 2 years ago? Y'all almost rushed for 300 yards on us. So definitely big physical kids. You guys do a great job down there, Coach O'Connell, and they all of them do a great job. They all do a great job, and it's always a great measuring stick for us. And then I love to follow after we play y'all to see how y'all do in 3A. I mean, every year I pay attention. They're in the quarterfinals, the semifinals. So I think it's a good game for both teams to just get us going in the right direction.
I, I fully agree, and my brother had to have me ask you because he thinks the world of you guys, and it's definitely a measuring stick for us. And we are, yes. Anytime we play Page, we know that we're going into a battle because you guys are so always prepared. Your technique from every position is phenomenal, and it's opening it up rather than opening it up against somebody that we're not sure. We open it up against a powerhouse program that's going to bring it every play, and that's going. And you guys don't let up until the very last snap. And they think. I know my brother thinks the world of Coach Rathbone as well. He's a phenomenal coach. Y'all's entire coaching staff is phenomenal, coach. I thank you very much for taking the time to come on with me today, and I look forward to hopefully having you on again, Coach.
Hey, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough, Doc. And yes, I love to come on again. I love to come on again, man.
Thank you very much, Coach. Guys, that's Coach James Wolff in the game with DOC, baby. From your Page Patriots, your 2025 state champions, 5A state champions. And it is always a game when the Bobcats play the Page Patriots. And anybody Page, we follow them. Just like Coach said, he watches us on through. We're pulling for Page all the way down. When they were in the state game, I was right here. I was going, doing the same thing. And I'm excited to be be able to finally get to talk with Coach and get to talk to some of the athletes from Page. As a matter of fact, I'm excited. This week coming on also from Page is Night Wilson. That's going to be huge. Knight is already committed to Air Force. I thank Coach Wolff for taking the time to come on with me. This was our second time. Coach's time is very valuable. And like I was saying to you young athletes, you've got to learn how to take coaching from criticism because it's not criticism, it's constructive criticism. Coaching is a tough job because if they depending on you and they need you, they're going to be on you. They're going to be wanting you to get that technique down. And that's one thing that Coach Wolff is really good with is teaching that technique and also being able to show it to them on the film. Because like we were saying with the film, you've got to film everything you do. You think that you see what's happening, but whenever you can take and show that athlete, no, those hands is not here. You're not coming up and get your head across. They can see that and relate, or you can see that as an athlete and relate to that, guys. What about this? I'm excited, guys. I'm excited finally to be able to start bringing you more coaches, more athletes, and man, I thank the world of Coach Wolff. Y'all be sure to check out Coach Wolff's TikTok and other platforms. It's Coach Wolff on TikTok, and he's got a lot of good plays from your Page Patriots on there from the drone view and a lot of other plays. Go check those out at Coach Wolff on TikTok, and I'm sure on other platforms as well. That's where I watch all Coach Wolff's. Everything he posts, I'm watching it because I'm a big fan of the Page Patriots. I'm a big fan of anybody that the Bobcats play or anybody plays because I love football and I love good football. Guys that get out there and work. You can believe the teams that are making it deep in the playoffs every year are in that weight room right now. They've got winter workouts going on and they're watching film from the previous season, getting ready for this season, guys. And that's what I'm going to start bringing you guys. I'm going to start bringing you a lot more of those. I'm excited for Night Wolff coming on. And oh, yeah, that's Coach Wolff right there. Oh, I get excited about that. I got to show this one more time. This year from last year.
I would have to say it was the leadership amongst the guys. The guys know what they knew what they wanted. They knew what it took to get there, and they knew that we came up a couple plays short the year before. So really, the difference for us was just leadership, leadership from the seniors and the upperclassmen. Just kind of taking the things you learn in college from the classroom to the football field, helps kids better understand their son. For us, I mean, there's no shortcut about it. You got two guys like this.
I had to show it again. I thank the world of him. Thank you guys in the comments. I just seen them coming up when I go into doing it. I'm focused on making sure that everything is running smooth. The more comfortable I get with doing the live streams and controlling everything, I will be able to interact with you guys because you're the one that I'm doing it for. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you, Gloria Woods. Thank you all for watching today, guys. And I will be on this week, as I said. Oh yeah, Not Wilson. He is coming on, guys. You're going to have to watch for that. I'm getting it down, baby. You are in the game with DOC. That was Coach Wolff in the game with DOC, baby. Woo! I'm pumped up.